The hum of fluorescent lights filled the empty school hallway as Mr. Samuel Hayes, the quiet janitor loved by every student, pushed his mop slowly across the floor. He had worked at Briarwood High School for over 20 years, never missing a day, never asking for recognition. To the students, he was more than just a janitor. He was the man who fixed broken lockers, offered kind smiles, and gave quiet encouragement when no one else seemed to notice. That night felt like any other. Samuel finished his shift, locked up, and headed home to his modest apartment, completely unaware that his life was about to be turned upside down. The next morning, Principal Harris gathered the staff in the teacher's lounge, his face grim. "There's been another theft," he said. "A large sum of money has gone missing from the staff room, and once again, the only person with access overnight was Mr. Hayes." A heavy silence filled the room before gasps and murmurs erupted. Samuel, standing at the back, froze as the words sank in. I didn't take anything," he stammered, his voice shaking. But it was too late. Whispers swept through the staff like wildfire. "I always thought he was too quiet," one teacher muttered. "Maybe that's why he's been here so long. Easy access," another added. By noon, the entire school knew. Samuel's picture, once proudly displayed on the school's website for his years of service, was now plastered across gossip-filled posts online. Students looked at him differently. Colleagues avoided him. Principal Harris called him into his office that afternoon. "Until we figure this out, you're suspended without pay." Samuel walked out of the school with his head low, his eyes burning with tears. At home, he sat in his small living room, staring at framed photos from past school events, pictures of him helping kids at field days, decorating classrooms during Christmas, smiling with students who looked up to him. He whispered into the silence, "Why would they think I'd do this, after everything I've done for them?" But while Samuel sat drowning in shame and disbelief, the real thief was celebrating his success. Andrew Collins, a new teacher who had quickly become popular among staff for his charm and wit, was the one behind the thefts. Unknown to anyone, Andrew was deep in debt, gambling away what little money he had. Samuel was the perfect scapegoat, an older janitor who kept to himself, with no one to defend him. Andrew made sure every theft happened on Samuel's night shifts. He even discovered the missing money more than once, solidifying Samuel as the prime suspect. While most of the town turned against Samuel, one person refused to believe the rumors. Lily Carter, a bright and kind 16-year-old student, had always admired Mr. Hayes. He had fixed her locker when no one else cared, encouraged her during tough school years, and treated every student with kindness. "I don't believe Mr. Hayes did this," she told her best friend. "Something isn't right. He would never steal." Determined to find the truth, Lily hatched a plan. Late one evening, she snuck into the school under the pretense of working on a class project. Carefully, she hid her phone inside the staff room, angled perfectly toward the lockers. Her heart pounded as she walked away, praying she wouldn't get caught. The next morning, Lily retrieved her phone and opened the footage. Her jaw dropped. There on the screen was Andrew Collins himself, rifling through purses and envelopes, stuffing cash into his pockets, his eyes darting nervously to the door. With shaking hands, Lily ran straight to Principal Harris's office. "You need to see this," she said, her voice trembling. Harris frowned but took the phone. As the footage played, his face drained of color. That afternoon, Samuel walked into what was supposed to be his final disciplinary meeting. He expected the worst, his termination, humiliation, and the final blow to his reputation. But instead of stern glares, he was met with silence. The principal stood slowly. "Mr. Hayes, we owe you an apology." Samuel blinked in confusion. What do you mean?" Harris turned to Andrew, who sat in the corner, pale and sweating. "Mr. Collins, you're under arrest." Two officers stepped forward, handcuffing the young teacher. Andrew's face twisted in anger as he glared at Samuel. "This isn't over," he spat as he was led away. For the first time in weeks, Samuel felt the crushing weight lift from his chest. He was innocent, and now everyone knew it. The next day, Samuel returned to school, expecting cold stares and awkward silence. Instead, he was greeted by dozens of students holding handmade signs that read, "Welcome back, Mr. Hayes," and "We believe in you." Tears welled in his eyes as he whispered, "Thank you." Reporters crowded outside the school gates, microphones in hand. "Mr. Hayes, do you have anything to say after being wrongly accused?" one asked. Samuel paused, his voice soft but firm. "Never judge someone without knowing the truth. Sometimes the quietest people have the loudest integrity." Andrew Collins was later charged with multiple counts of theft, fraud, and evidence tampering. The town, which had so quickly condemned Samuel, now praised him as a man of resilience and quiet strength. Principal Harris personally apologized, reinstating Samuel with full back pay and a public statement of his innocence. For a while, life returned to normal. Samuel went back to work, the students once again greeting him with warm smiles. Lily, hailed as a hero, became even closer to Samuel, often stopping by to talk after school. "Thank you for believing in me," Samuel told her one day. "You saved my life." But peace doesn't always last forever. Weeks later, as Samuel finished cleaning one evening, he returned to the janitor's closet to find a small envelope tucked into his locker. With trembling hands, he opened it. The note inside was written in jagged handwriting. Samuel's hands trembled as he held the letter. "You think you've won? I'm not finished." His heart pounded as he looked around the empty hallway, the fluorescent lights above flickering slightly. He knew exactly who had written it: Andrew Collins, the man who had framed him. The next morning, Samuel went straight to the police station, handing over the letter. "It's his handwriting," Samuel said firmly. Detective Miller, who had handled Andrew's case, frowned as he examined the note. "He's been in prison for months. Someone helped him send this." News spread quickly. Andrew had been plotting revenge from behind bars, manipulating guards and fellow inmates. Samuel couldn't sleep for nights, the fear creeping back into his life. But this time, he wasn't alone. Lily Carter, the student who had saved him, visited with Emma Clark, a local reporter inspired by Lily's bravery. "We're not letting this happen again," Lily said with determination. Together, they worked with the police to investigate Andrew's prison contacts. The investigation revealed that Andrew had been planning an escape, bribing a corrupt guard to smuggle out letters and arrange a getaway. Authorities acted fast. Andrew's plan was foiled, and the corrupt guard was arrested. Weeks later, Samuel received a call from Detective Miller. "Collins has been transferred to a maximum security prison. He won't be able to hurt you ever again." For the first time in months, Samuel felt the weight lift from his shoulders. That Friday, the school held a surprise assembly for him. Students filled the gym, holding up banners that read, "Thank you, Mr. Hayes, and our hero." Principal Harris stepped up to the podium. "Samuel Hayes is more than just our janitor. He's proof that quiet strength and integrity always prevail, and we owe him not just an apology, but our gratitude." The entire gym erupted into applause as Samuel stepped forward. Tears filled his eyes as he looked at the students and staff who once doubted him. "Thank you," he said, his voice trembling. "I never wanted recognition. I just wanted the truth to win. And thanks to all of you, especially Lily, the truth did win." Lily stood and hugged him tightly. "You deserve this," she said with a smile. Over the next few months, Samuel's story spread beyond Briarwood. Donations poured in from strangers who admired his resilience. Samuel used the money to create a scholarship for underprivileged students, naming it the Integrity Award. 1 year later, Samuel stood on stage with Lily, presenting the very first scholarship. "No matter how dark things seem," Samuel told the crowd, "there's always a way for the truth to come out. Never stop fighting for what's right, because justice will always find its way." The audience stood, applauding as Samuel smiled through tears, finally free from the shadow that once destroyed his life. Justice had been served, peace had returned, and Samuel Hayes, the quiet janitor once wrongly accused, had become the town's greatest reminder that good people and the truth always prevail. If this story gave you hope, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories where justice wins and courage changes everything. Until next time, stay strong, stay kind, and never stop believing in the power of truth.